Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things anime, uncensored, and we are your host. I'm David. We got Kenny, we got Jerry, and today we have a fun episode for you all because we will finally be talking about the hyped anime of fall and winter, Jujutsu Kaisen, today. And we're also going to be talking about some news. We got some news, and we'll be talking about Way of the Househusband that just dropped on Netflix not too long ago. So, Jerry, my boy, let's start off with some news. So, what do you got for us?
Okay, no, for real. Yeah, it's news time here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast. But like David said, we have a ton of stuff. We're definitely talking JJK finally. And I know that if you've listened to the podcast, we've been sprinkling in some Jujutsu goodness over the last many weeks, ever since we started it back in fall. And then obviously when we did kind of our fall review, we chatted about it briefly where it was, but it still had half a season to go. We haven't really had a time to catch up about JJK since the whole season has now ended and it's now doing its thing. But that's what today's episode is going to be really banging out. We're going to be really killing it on JJK, which, I mean, I'll say it now. I think it's the best Shonen new gen out. I mean, just my opinion. It's just, I think it's the best. But before we get too deep into that, Kenny has a movie that he wants to tell us all about because I think he's more excited about this than anything else in the anime world. So
they announced they are doing a Vampire Night movie. They're doing a Vampire Night movie.
My God!
Brand new, coming to theaters tomorrow.
Brand new in theaters tomorrow.
Here at the Vampire Night Podcast, we love to talk about Vampire Night and Vampire Night news. The Vampire Night movie is coming to a theater near you as soon as it begins to exist, you know?
So before we get too deep in, let's give ourselves a couple plugs, Kenny. That Vampire Night's a great way to start. For those of you who don't know, if we ever hit 1,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel for the Uncensored Anime Podcast, me, David, and Kenny will be live streaming our viewing of the entirety of the Vampire Night anime, giving live reactions and giving our full in-depth review of the absolute masterpiece that is Vampire Night, our favorite series of all time.
At the Vampire Night Podcast, yeah.
If you want to make that happen for us, you've got to like, you've got to comment, you've got to subscribe to the podcast here, you've got to go follow us over on Spotify, you've got to give us a 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts. Do all of that stuff because it helps to bring awareness to our series, to what we're doing here, because we love talking anime, we love goofing off about anime, and yes, we don't actually know if we love Vampire Night. Only David is a real fan. David's the only.
We love it.
I'm the true Vampire Night fan. There's some phonies on this podcast. I'm the real one.
Vampire Night posers over here. But absolutely, you know that if you want to get us to watch all of it, force us to watch it by making us get to 1,000 subscribers. When we do it, we promise live stream over on our Twitch. We're gonna watch every episode of Vampire Night live for you all to see how the torture that Vampire Night is. No, but absolutely go do all that stuff. But for real, Kenny, you are excited about a legitimate movie. Let's roll into the anime news. What's this movie that just got announced?
The next portion of Quintessential Quintuplets will be in movie form. They're following the way of the Demon Slayer. So the next arc, I guess, will be a Quintessential Quintuplets movie. You know, with that good budget, that movie budget, we're about to get a Quintessential Quintuplets quintessence, okay? I don't know what that word means.
Hey, you heard that, man.
But I know it's good. Okay?
The quintessence. Well, I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch the show before the movie comes out. Maybe I'll finally watch it.
I think you have to. I think
I do feel like it's about time that I watch it. I love a good spicy romance and, tutors and quintuplets. What better can it get?
Where else?
What more could you want, bro?
Yeah.
Well, you could.
I don't know.
We never learned low key, but.
Kenny, do you know who the studio is that does quintuplets anime?
I've no clue, bro.
I
don't even know if it's the same studio that's doing the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if the movie is being done by the same studio, if they're moving it over to someone else, or I'm very curious, just because it's definitely a weird decision. Like, UFO Table loves to do it, and obviously Jujutsu Kaisen Mappa has opted to do that with JJK, which is good timing. We're going to talk about that later.
Productions.
And they're pretty low key. I mean, not low key. They're pretty high key, but they have I think they have a lot of work in their backlog, right? They've done a lot of stuff.
They did the Astro Boy anime. They did Adachi Shimamura. How did not summon a demon lord?
I feel like they just have a lot of anime that dates back. Are they an older company? I don't know. I'm just thinking that because they're named after Osamu Tezuka, but maybe not.
From all these shows that I'm seeing, Quintessential is my favorite one. So
yeah, I mean, it's my favorite. It's in my top 5 favorite anime all time. So I don't know what.
Oh no, that's a hot take, Kenny.
Wait, they're also
What do you
producing Girlfriend, which is a new anime that's debuting in July.
Oh, of course.
What a segue, boys. What a segue. Girlfriend, David.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it. It's is it actually a Yuri or is it not? I actually don't know.
I'm assuming it's a Yuri. Maybe that'll be one of the 13 summer anime that we talk about.
Honestly, it might.
That's my vote. I'm gonna vote for that one.
Watch it.
So.
That's totally fine by me. Well, that was David's announcement. I was like, I was gonna ask David to give us a news update there.
Oh yeah, that's all I got.
The only
Oh,
girlfriend.
of course. Okay, Naoya Mukai begins a relationship with his childhood friend Saki, but also gets confessed by his friend Nagisa, and so he just begins dating both of them.
Oh, it's actually just
a guy with 2 girlfriends.
Yep. It's actually just a harem.
Yeah, it's another harem.
Beautiful. I love it.
Oh,
okay.
And he lives alone currently without his parents, and so he lives with both Saki and Nagisa.
Oh my!
That sounds a little spicy.
Now, I will say, tomorrow, as of this recording, not as of this video being posted, American audiences will finally have the opportunity to go and see the Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train, in theaters here in the U.S. It is just debuting in theaters. It's actually going to stay in theaters for about a week or so, right? I think. And honestly, I think if it does well across the U.S., I could see it getting milked a little bit more and them doing some more showings. That would not surprise me, just because it's money, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was surprised they even did I'm surprised it's even a week of showings because I'm used to anime events being like a one night. It's like one night in the U.S. or something. But so that's exciting.
2 days.
So hopefully by the time you guys are watching this, some of you will have already seen the Demon Slayer movie. So that's awesome. And I mean, I know that there are probably people who already watched like the freaking cam rips or something from Japan, but
we got to get our tickets, Jerry.
I know we have not bought tickets. We have not. We need to get them because we'd like to see it. But if we don't, then
I'm afraid it'll
sell out. Dick's out for Harambe. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. I'm sure we can catch it. It's supposed to go up on streaming in like a month or two, right? I think it's not a super long delay between the theater thing and the streaming, I think. So It'll be whatever. I kind of wish they had just done a simultaneous like streaming and theater still, but I understand they want to make that money. They want to get that cash and they want to get people back in the seats of theaters. So this is a good way to do it. Fine by me. I hope those of you going to see it are safe. The 3 boys here on the podcast, we have all gotten our second vaccine shot. And we are, as safe as we can be still when we go out, but we have gotten vaccinated. So not going to push anything on you guys, but, do what's best for you and make sure you take care of yourself if you're going to be going to the theater. But exciting. All of this is exciting.
It's going to be released digitally on June 22nd.
Okay, cool. So that's yikes, that's actually 2 months. 2 months?
It's just 2 months. So either, wait 2 months and watch it on Amazon or Google Play or Apple TV.
Right.
Or, just if you're vaccinated, make that decision yourself. But
I'll probably buy the Blu-ray too when it comes out. I bought the My Hero Blu-ray, the one with the Bakugo movie we talked about. So I don't know, boys, was there any other I'm like anime news is such a what?
There's a vaguely anime news.
What?
The new Phoenix Wright Chronicles is finally getting released in English. So 2 games, I believe, released in Japan about Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, 2 Phoenix Wright games. And we don't often get it takes a while, or we only get them digital, Phoenix Wright-wise.
What console?
It's going to be on Switch and on Steam, and I believe on PS4.
Weird. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just used to like Game Boy or something. I think the first Phoenix Wright was like Game Boy Advance or something.
Well, Switch is the new Game Boy, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's a new Game Boy.
I mean, it basically is.
Well, that's actually exciting, Kenny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're smashing the 2 games together into one big game over here for the U.S., which is cool because people thought we'd never get them.
Yeah.
Oh, so those are Japan exclusives?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good news, actually.
I actually have some more news, Jerry, that we just talked about.
Oh.
So literally today, this morning, Netflix released their release schedule for May. And they confirmed that on May 13th, new season of Castlevania will be dropping. So season 4 of Castlevania.
Isn't it the finale too? The final season?
I don't know. I haven't personally watched any Castlevania, so I'm probably going to binge it before this drops and then watch it.
It's great. I think that season 1's really good. Season 2's pretty great, and season 3's like really good in my opinion. But
it's all the
season
same
3 was
Belmont, right?
Yeah. This is all one big story, and I think that season 4 is going to be like the end of his story, is what I believe I read. And Netflix is now like in talks to potentially produce like another Belmont story, but this has all been Trevor, I believe, Trevor Belmont.
Ooh.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But this will be like the conclusion of Trevor's story as of this season 4. So I'm excited for that, especially my wife and I love watching those. So we'll definitely, I mean, we've watched the first 3 seasons, but that'll be exciting. It's kind of anime.
Yeah.
It's technically produced in America, but it's anime styled.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Jerry. It's listed under anime for May 2021 in this graphic. So I mean that makes it anime.
God damn
it's
it!
listed as anime, Jerry. So everybody get in the comments, okay?
They probably listed Avatar on anime too.
Well, that's
Jackie Chan Adventures, okay?
Oh
that conversation, that's probably for another day. But
fine. Okay, so Castlevania next month as well. So May we get Castlevania last.
And then we also get on May 27th Eden, which that's not the same as Eden Zero, right? Or is that supposed to be?
Oh, there's an anime called Eden.
Yeah, it's just Eden, not Eden Zero.
We actually got confused earlier. Okay, yeah, we thought Eden Zero was coming out in May, but if it's just Eden, that's a different show.
Which makes more sense that it's not Eden Zero because it's going to be like episode 7 of that week.
Yeah. Eden Zero is going to be in hella Netflix jail, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that when Netflix acquired. Oh yeah, this is totally like its own show, David.
It's a Netflix original, I think.
Eden, original
Netflix
net animation. Yes, it is.
It looks created by the person that made Ghost in the Shell 2.
Yeah, also from the mind of Yasuhiro Iri, who you may know as the director of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I mean, it looks interesting, but it's in that weird like Netflix 3D style.
Story of robots raising the last human child.
Well, there you go. Eden. Any other anime listed on Netflix coming out in May?
It's just those 2.
Okay, well that sucks. Because for those of you that don't know, Shaman King and
Beastars,
Eden Zero and Beastars, and the last season of 7 Deadly Sins, they're all in Netflix jail. And what Netflix jail is when Netflix acquires a series that's airing weekly, and they just wait till whenever the fuck they feel like it to release all the episodes. So hopefully we get some sort of announcement of when that's supposed to come. There's a Netflix anime coming out, I think in the summer, that we're excited about though, David, but I can't remember what it's called.
Record of Ragnarok.
Well, that one, I know that one. If you haven't heard of Record of Ragnarok, that's going to be dope. That's going to be a Netflix show. And we're only talking about this because we're going to review a Netflix show here in a minute, but...
yes. So the show that we're talking about today, well, in a little bit, so we have the Househusband. It actually got confirmed for a part 2.
Right.
There isn't like a release date, but people are speculating it'll be the end of this year, so winter of 2021.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so this first part was just 5 episodes. They were like not even 20 minutes long, so I don't think it's going to take them probably be another 5 episodes with the same amount.
Yeah, that's my guess.
I'm pretty sure it cost them $5 to make. So they were like, "Fuck." I mean,
they wasted all their,
drop another Andrew Jackson on this.
They put their whole budget into getting overhaul Kendra Suda to come and do the voice, and they were like, "Fuck, that's all the money we had."
Bro, that's it.
But that's exciting. And yeah, there's another anime, David, for Netflix, but I forgot what it was called. We talked about it a couple podcasts ago, but it was one that was like you and I both were like, "Oh, that sounds really cool," and I think we both have just we talked about that like last week.
Cool.
Yasuke's coming, but man, David, I don't care. We'll remember it later. Damn it.
Well, yeah.
If you guys remember which episode or which show, maybe it was called like Spriggan.
Oh yeah.
Spriggan.
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast though.
Oh shit, did we not?
Well,
just talked about
Spriggan. Yeah.
David and I did talk about the show Spriggan. We thought it looked pretty interesting, and it's coming to Netflix.
Pour one
later
out
this
for
year.
my boy B-Stars.
No.
What was the thing about Spriggan that? Oh, it's David Productions' next work.
That's why we were interested.
Yeah.
Well,
And
their
it's-
next work is now Stone Ocean, so I don't know.
Joe's. Whatever. Okay.
Jolene's
cool.
theme's gonna be so dope. I can't wait.
I know. I can't wait.
What? You're just assuming.
Why?
Look,
It's been
all
doper and doper.
it gets better and better. All the prior JoJo's themes are like good, and then it gets so, and then we get Giorno's, and it's like, oh, this is perfect. And then when Jolene's theme drops,
It's gonna be.
it's gonna be so good. I'm telling you, like episode
Giorno's-
2.
Okay.
Episode 2. It's
Okay.
gonna be like, here's Jolene's theme. Internet's gonna explode. It's gonna be trending on Twitter. Hashtag Jolene's theme.
All the piano players on YouTube are gonna be playing it.
Hashtag DJolene.
Jolene.
DJolene.
Everybody go out and buy a DiGiorno pizza for Jolene, the company. They said Stone Ocean, okay?
They
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Stone Ocean. Stone
Support.
Ocean confirmed,
Yeah.
baby. Stone Ocean confirmed. Whatever. I think that's all it. There really isn't a lot of news coming out right now. Oh, we talked about this last week. The other new Shonen Jump title debuted this last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We can quickly talk about that because we've been kind of building up to it. But as we talked about on our last one, they debuted the romantic sports series Ao no Haru or something like that. But then this weekend they debuted their second, which is kind of a, how would you guys describe it? Like a battle shonen? I don't know. Is it kind of a battle shonen?
Yeah, I'm getting Battle Shonen.
Battle Shonen.
vibes.
Is it called Sugar Rush? My brain's not remembering exactly.
Candy Flurry.
Yeah, that was
That was pretty close. It should have been called Sugar
pretty
Rush.
much a synonym, right? No.
Sugar Rush is the name of the game from Wreck-It Ralph.
I think Sugar Rush is also the name of the guy from My Hero, right?
Yes.
The hero, yeah, the guy that has the sugar powers. Okay, Candy Flurry is the name of the anime or the manga. David, wait, I only read like a part of it. Did anyone read the whole chapter?
Yeah, I did.
David, what was the
I think-
general plot? Like, what did you get from the? Without spoiling it too much, I guess.
Yeah,
But what was like the general concept?
So the first chapter, it's like basically a world where things are normal, and then, and there's kind of like a lot of things that are missing in terms of like the story, but I'm sure they'll fill it in as they go on. But basically, this company releases this candy. People eat this candy, and it like gives them abilities, and the result of that has flattened, like Tokyo is a wasteland. Like it's just no one lives in Tokyo. And so there are like criminals that use their candy powers to do shit. And our main character, her ability is she can generate like a giant like lollipop and like beat the shit out of people with it.
yeah, lollipop bat.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like not good that she's a lollipop user because it's rumored that a lollipop user was what destroyed Tokyo. So she doesn't want to use her ability or else she'll get like framed. And she meets a kid who's like part of the police force, and he can like create a fork and like battle with it. So it seems like it's going to be battle shonen. It seems like a pretty unique kind of universe.
Yeah,
It gives me kind of One Piece vibes because only one person can have like a specific candy ability. So it's like basically devil fruits. But yeah, I mean it seems good. I'm probably gonna watch it or read it week to week. So
Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts. We're in such a weird time in Shonen Jump that it's like,
we mentioned that Shonen Jump's kind of missing a battle shonen right now. Like a real,
Yeah.
I mean, like other than like Undead Unluck, there's space for a battle shonen to kind of show up.
well,
Yeah.
there's one running that's pretty big time, I feel like, but there might be a couple running. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's 3 running that are pretty big time.
oh,
I mean, like
what are those
aside
3?
from the
Can-
top, yeah, he's talking.
Jujutsu
One Piece,
Kaisen
Black
and My
Clover.
Hero. Yeah.
Oh, Black Clover also. So there's actually 4 that are like the
Yeah.
top, but I just think there's space for a new battle shonen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which we
especially
kinda
with
mentioned in
with Jujutsu and My Hero potentially wrapping up.
Yeah, I think that they
So-
both could end in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
So
I mean My Hero's in their last arc now, so
there you go. But I think he still said it's going to take a little bit for him to finish it. But
Yeah, I
still.
know. It could be forever long, honestly.
And it could just be a time
Last
skip. You never
arc,
know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Okay, boys. that's really the last news that I could think of. I mean, the good thing is that like the season has been dominated ever since this season started. It's been a lot of conversations about like the new shows, which I think is really exciting. There seems to be a lot of hype around things like To Your Eternity, Tokyo Revengers, Vivi. So that's good. I mean, for me, like that, obviously, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, our favorite show here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast.
I swear, the comments under that show on Crunchy is just like
cringe.
People, 5 stars, 5 stars. Oh, it's just what everything I expected and more. It's so great.
I've always wanted 15-year-olds to step on my fucking nuts. Oh Jesus Christ, we're gonna have to cut that out. No, I'm
Come on, bro.
That was a parody. That was a parody. That was a parody.
In the comments.
No, I'm leaving that shit in. That's gold. No.
Okay, but legitimately, yes. It seems like people are really.
I mean, that's what the show is.
For this. It is, and that's what makes me uncomfortable. Like the show is just really, really going all in on this this aesthetic that to me is just weird. It's cringy. It's uncomfortable. I'm gonna watch. I still haven't watched episode 2, and I know 2 is out, and I think 3 might even be out. But I'm gonna watch it.
The 2 came out this week, and it's
3 might come out like
awful.
It's Chase described it as endearing, and I was like,
it's
not
endearing.
Me.
It's endearing, okay.
I missed the boat.
If she just wasn't making such a kooky face, you would be like, oh, she's just a nice girl.
She's just a good girl.
She's just a good girl.
Who just scatters his mangas all over the floor or whatever, and wants him to be a fucking dweeb. Whatever. Beside the point, the conversations right now have mostly been centered around that. There's a new. I think Chainsaw Man's getting an official trailer next month or in June, something like that.
Yep.
That got announced. But really, there's not a ton of like solid anime news coming out recently. So pretty good way in time for me and the boys here to talk about some shows we've been watching, some stuff we've watched, and do some more reviews for you guys. Like we kind of. I mean, that's what we do on this podcast is review shit. But maybe we'll get some stuff going. But tonight we definitely want to talk about The Way of the Househusband. So, boys, let's chat about it. Let's chat about this series because it was something. It was something. So Kenny,
yeah.
What's The Way of the Househusband?
The Way of the Househusband is very simple, okay? It's a 5-episode anime about Tatsumi the Immortal, a Yakuza who now just is a house husband. He stays home and he cooks and he cleans for his wife and she works and that's it. He just needs that white powder, bro, and he has to get the deals and he has wars with the dust bunnies and there isn't much more to say other than that it is so hilarious. This show cracks me up for real.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's literally just a comedy series about a retired Yakuza man who was on the top of his game, who is now a simple house husband who does everything around the house. I mean, that's it. That's the concept. But David, do you know any details about this show? Any information that we might not know, like studio?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
So some behind the scenes stuff, right?
So, it's only 9:50, and I'm over here yawning.
Fucking yawning, Jerry. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this was produced by JC Staff. So I think the same group that did. I mean, a lot of the shows that we've talked about before. I think they also did like Fairy Tale. I want to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had one animator work on this show.
Yeah, so that's the thing that we'll probably talk about at length.
We can talk about it in a second, yeah. So JC Staff is the production studio. It was produced as a Netflix original, I believe, so it was produced just for Netflix.
Right, yeah.
So this didn't like air on TV or anything first. It was made for Netflix. So I believe it aired worldwide on Netflix on the same day when it came out. So that's cool.
Yeah, and this was originally a manga. It was illustrated by someone named Kusuke Uno.
Was it a web manga or something?
Yes,
like that?
it's originally a web manga. And what's interesting is that the chapters, so typically chapters are like 19, 20, 21 pages. These are like 12, 13 pages. So chapters are really, really short. And it's pretty episodic. If it's like how it is in the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the anime is legit. So another quick note is that the anime is legitimately panel. It's the panels. Like it's not. There's like zero editing done at all. It is literally like each shot is like the next panel, and it even like shows the chapter numbers in the top corner, like as the episode goes along. It's like this is chapter 1, this is chapter 2, which I think was really an interesting style and decision. But yeah, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
anything else, David?
There was also a live action television drama that
that looked interesting.
that
I've seen
aired
the
last
trailer.
year, which I haven't seen anything on. I haven't seen any like video or stuff on. So I don't know
I've
if
only
it was
seen
good,
clips.
But...
I think I saw a trailer on YouTube.
So yeah, so this has a live action already, so that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And that's it. And you mentioned it earlier, but so Kenjiro Suda he's the voice actor for Tatsu. I think he's like big boy shit in the VA world.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's Overhaul.
He's Overhaul.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this guy. Yeah, so this is the guy that voices everybody in every single anime ever.
He has gotten a lot of employment lately, is all I'll say. He's just been in like 2 to 3 shows every season as like a pretty prominent cast member, which is pretty nice for him. But that's good for Kenjiro.
Yeah,
but yeah, okay.
I think that's about it.
Okay. So boys, what did we think? What was our feelings on this show?
I liked it,
bro. He just needs that white powder. That's what that's my favorite running gag. The white powder joke. He's always needing the white powder.
He's like at the store. He's like, "Where can I get some white powder?"
I need that white powder, and she's like, "We don't sell that here."
She's like,
and he's like, "Flour."
Yep.
Or he's like, "I need that white powder," and they're like, "What?" It's like citric acid, and you're like,
I love
my guy.
I love all the moments where it was basically like food wars, where people would like try his food and they were like, "Oh my god, it's so good."
Nani?
He's a house husband, bro.
He's like, "Oh, he can cook, he can clean." I loved all the moments where like the cat was just being a little shit, just shitting in other people's yards, not using the litter box. Like, why was that cat not using the litter box?
Legend. Fucking legend. I think that what viewers need to be aware of going into the show is that the animation is really more of a visual comic book, as a vomit, I think is what they're usually called, than like a fully animated series. So like we can talk about it briefly, boys, but yeah, like if you go into the show thinking you're getting like a full anime, that's just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more like a panel for panel, like colored in version of the manga with voice acting and sound effects and music. Because yeah, there's not like any. I mean, there's very small amounts of animation per episode. It's more of like a visual comic from one panel to the next. Including like there are even some panels where it like blacks off the rest of the screen to do like a long panel or like a panel this way or whatever. So yeah, it's a style to get used to if you've never watched a show like this. The only one I could think of off the top of my head was Detroit Metal City. Do you guys know any other examples of anime that have done this?
No,
I couldn't think of any off the top of my head.
This was the first anime I've ever seen that was styled like that.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen one more, but I think that they also had an anime. Like, I don't know.
Was it announced that it was going to be in this style?
I've actually seen more like American comic books like this. Like I remember like. There's like a Hellboy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
American comics. I've seen X-Men. There's an X-Men one for sure. They did. Yeah, American comics.
Scott
are more
Pilgrim
popularly
had
done
some
this way.
things like that too.
Yeah, I think so.
But David, it wasn't like explicitly stated, but when the trailer came out, a lot of people realized what it was. Because the trailer, you can kind of tell that that's the way it was styled. And yeah, it's just a style choice. Like I said, Detroit Metal City is the one that comes to my head, which is also a comedy manga from 10, 15 years ago or whatever, that got an anime adaptation that was kind of like a like more of a vomit style as opposed to like a full anime style. And I don't know, it works for this show for me at least, because like the comedy and the delivery is where like that gets like where that works. Right. So it can work in this like limited animation style and still be very funny and entertaining. And I think that's what I liked about this. It does suck that it was only like, you pretty much can watch the whole show in like less than an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half, and you can watch all of what they put out already. and it covered like a huge chunk of the manga, like 40 chapters or something. But yeah, it's, I mean, still, despite it, so you guys don't feel like the animation turned you off from it either, or what?
No, I mean, it's just, it's funny, and I read a lot of manga anyway, so.
I think
So
it's not a hard transition for me.
Yeah, like it didn't put me off either, but part of me was thinking like, okay, so since they went with this style, they still had to use CGI, like, so there was still like a budget issue going on. So like, because I'm assuming with this style that they went, I mean, they're not really animating anything. They're just
Right,
just designing the panels and then just like probably animating like the shifts in or shifts out or whatever, like the panning. So there were moments where at least it looked like CGI, where you could tell like some of the characters are like, they're not moving, they're just still, but it's still like kind of CGI'd out. So I don't know if there was like a reason. Like I think it would probably look better if it was just like full like actual like 2D art, but that's probably just like a nitpicky thing. But other than that, I mean,
it makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder if it was budgetary or if it was stylistic or if like what the choices that were made behind the scenes on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't think things like that will ever really come to light. Like a lot of times, like X-Arm, we'll never know why X-Arm's an abomination to humankind, but I mean, it is, and we just have to live with that. So I think that'll be something that maybe one day we'll learn why Househusband decided to go with this aesthetic, but beside the point.
It's probably just like a typical Netflix thing. I mean, they put that in all their shows, so
all Netflix anime is CGI. If you didn't know,
yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean, aside from the animation, I think that's the one nitpick because the comedy and the delivery is awesome and it's funny and the story is funny, and if you're looking for just like a romp, but like something that's just a lot of fun for like hour and a half, really fun thing to just throw on and give it a shot. So if that's something that's up your alley, I would encourage everyone to take a little go with the Househusband. So favorite parts, what we all my favorite part, by the way, hands down, he's getting chased by those dudes in the mall. He corners them and he sticks those mittens on that dude, and then all of a sudden he has like a legitimate like life flashback to when he had mittens as a kid, and he's like breaks down. And I was like, this is brilliant. I was like, this is what we need in our comedy series, is like these like serious kind of lampooning of anime tropes. And I love that when they do something like that, because it's like such a trope, right? To get into like a battle, the bad guy have like a flashback, and like that like it makes them change or have like a moment. So it all happened so fast that I thought that was super funny. It really caught me off guard.
The random crepe cook-off between Tatsu and the his like used to be arch nemesis back in his Yakuza days.
Incredible.
It was just so random, and that was one of my favorites. I really like the one where he was watching the little boy for a day, and he was like, I don't want to stay with this guy. And then he had one of his cookies, and he's like, oh, did you cook this? This is amazing. Probably my favorite one was the one where there was like a Yakuza guy in an earlier chapter that he met, and he like, once he realized who Tatsu was, his like knees gave out, so he just like fell to the ground.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard at that part.
And then the follow-up chapter, he's like he's like taking pills, he's like doing squats, he's doing all these workouts, he's like, my knees won't give out this time, damn it. And then
I love that guy.
He just walks up, and he sees Tatsu again, he just like falls to the ground. He's like,
incredible joke.
That
incredible delivery, incredible work on the author's part. I thought that shit was so funny.
Like the deadpan in the show, like, and like the delivery, it was just like so well done, and like the timing and everything was just so it definitely added to the hilarity.
Did you guys both watch Japanese, or did you guys go dub? Kenny, did you watch dub?
I never watched in dub, bro.
I just assumed maybe if you watched it with Johnny, you would. But
Johnny did watch in dub, yeah. But
no. I think that the voice work was way better than like the voice work was carrying the whole damn show. Like the voice
Absolutely.
actors
Well,
deserve
yeah, they were
like
taking it the most serious, bro.
bro, they were going all out for that shit. I love the one where he's like takes a part-time job at the cafe, and then the two the Yakuza guy comes in, the two Yakuza guys come in, he keeps coming up and they keep thinking it's like an innuendo, like he's gonna pull a gun or he's gonna like, you know what I mean? And it's like always like their parfait or like their fucking, they kept ordering shit. I don't know why, but that killed me too. I was like, this buffoon, like incredible stuff. And yeah, I mean, it just boiled down to like, it was a show about delivery, it was a show about comedy, it was a show about that. And in that, it just delivered. There was not really like, it sucks because with comedy shows, there's not a lot to dissect, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like be fucking funnier, Househusband. No, I mean, like there was no.
No, it's fucking funny.
Sometimes I do watch comedy shows and I'll be like, okay, that wasn't super funny, but this it nailed it. I think that there wasn't much to critique on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like,
just
it's like
something
the
that
same gag too. It's like constantly like the same thing of like,
Yeah,
you think
there's
he's
one,
gonna like
there's
kill
one
you.
gag.
Yeah, he thinks he think that he's gonna kill you, and then he pulls out like a stuffed animal. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The gag is, oh, he's a retired Yakuza boss that's a house husband now. That's
Yeah,
the
like
joke.
Yeah.
the knife salesman comes by and he's like, it looks like he's fucking killed someone inside.
That is the joke. And that, I don't know, it works for me. It works every time. It got me every time. It was fun to watch, and I'm happy we watched it because Alyssa and I already bought all the manga too. We have all 4 volumes.
Oh wow.
And it's really awesome. So I hope people at least give it a shot and aren't too turned off from like the animation. I think I'm just worried that is going to be like the big turn away, and people are just gonna be like, oh, I don't want to try it. It looks so goofy. And honestly, if the animation is your turn away, go read the manga because it's word for word, and you can get that. Like maybe you'll get a better experience reading the manga then, because it's an actual manga instead of like a visual comic sort of thing. So that's my one suggestion. But all right, boys, do we even need to rate a comedy series?
Well, the thing
Thumbs
is
up, bro.
that there's going to be a part 2 released later this year. So
I know,
it's possible we'll maybe talk about it again.
Yeah, we might, but
We can rate
When
it though
it
if y'all
comes-
want.
thumbs up. I don't.
I'm gonna
know.
rate it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it
It's
2
pretty
thumbs up.
funny.
0.5 out of 10.
It's funny,
Pretty solid
bro.
and funny. Yes.
If you want to laugh, watch this show. That's all I'll say.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it. So it's simple. We wanted to at least chat about it for those of you who haven't heard about it, and maybe encourage you to check it out. And if not, why not? If you didn't like Househusband, tell us in the comments. Maybe it wasn't your type of humor. Maybe it didn't hit for you. Maybe the animation really did turn you off too much. If that's so, tell us down in the comments. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I mean, if there's something that you didn't like about it, we're always down to chat about it because again, we all enjoyed it, but it is simple and it's straightforward. So, all right, boys.
Is it Jujutsu time? The most overhyped anime in ever.
No,
So overhyped. It's not that good.
it's not as good. I don't know.
Is
So
it not?
No, people say it's overhyped, but I genuinely don't think it's overhyped. I think it's like hyped, like just enough.
I think it's correctly hyped.
I think it's correctly hyped. I think it deserves it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's kind of riding the same. So, history lesson. Over the last couple years, we've had some shonen series that have debuted and kind of had their moment. And I think to me, this kind of all starts with My Hero Academia, and then Demon Slayer, and now Jujutsu Kaisen. Like they've all been these sort of shonen powerhouses that once they got their anime adaptation, they took off, and they have been relatively popular ever since. All of them have sort of maintained, and JJK is kind of stepping into that footsteps again. They're lucky that Mappa did this series because it's so just gorgeous compared to Mappa, Bones, and UFO Table are the 3. That's Demon Slayer, fucking My Hero, and Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's like, oh my god, like we live in an era where 3 mega studios are doing like weekly Shonen Jump anime series, and that's really strange because I think we're all so used to places like Toei Animation or Studio Pierrot, or other studios that are more focused on this, pumping out an episode every single week forever, that take on these weekly Shonen Jump titles. We've all become so accustomed to filler and so accustomed to that methodology that the idea that Shonen Jump can can put out seasonal, focused, well-paced anime series has been a thing of just really the last 5 or 6 years. Like, we haven't really gotten that experience yet. I mean, look at Black Clover, for damn sake. Like, it debuted in the same, and it got picked up by Piro, had an episode come out every week for 170 weeks straight, and that methodology just doesn't work anymore in this modern era. Like, we don't need a new episode of Shonen Jump anime to come out every goddamn week. And My Hero and Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen are leading the charge in what I'm going to call premium weekly Shonen Jump adaptations. Premium adaptations. So it is, for all intents and purposes, and I think that, like I said, My Hero was hype. Demon Slayer was... I don't even know what to say about Demon Slayer.
I think Demon Slayer was overhyped, but yeah, we've talked about it.
Demon Slayer might be overhyped, but for real, like, what the fuck, Demon Slayer? Like,
yeah,
I can't even fathom still. I talk about this all the time. I can't fathom what happened to Demon Slayer. I can't put it into words because the money that it's made, the copies it sold, its absolute impact on the cultural experience of anime fans is immaculate. I mean, just uncomparable. Yep. And Jujutsu Kaisen isn't gonna beat that. I hate to say it, but like, it's not gonna topple what Demon Slayer did, because Demon Slayer's whole thing is unfathomable. Yeah. And it only worked because of the fact that Demon Slayer's anime debuted right as its manga completed. It only worked because there was this perfect timing that occurred. And Jujutsu Kaisen's different. It's a normal anime airing at a normal time. You know, it's right, on the heels of 9 or 10 volumes. Just got its one season knocked out, and we'll have another season, later, and so on and so forth. It doesn't have, and most likely the manga still has quite a bit of room to keep going. So, definitely a little different. But wow, guys, I really loved the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen. That's all I'll say. I really loved it. So I don't even know if we need to summarize it, but Kenny, if you want, I mean, what's Jujutsu Kaisen about?
Everybody, you've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, we know that. But for those of you that have not, Jujutsu Kaisen is about a boy named Yuji Itadori who has immaculate physical skill. He's super physically capable, and he's a part of a club that ends up discovering this sort of spirit artifact. And it makes it so that his friends are in danger. And a guy from another school shows up to sort of quell this demon and collect the artifact. But Yuji's friends are in danger. And then the artifact powers up these demons that are attacking them. And so he jumps into the fray, eats the artifact, becomes spiritually possessed, and then it sort of is forced to transfer to this new school and become a demon hunter, basically. That's the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a story about Yuji becoming this sort of demon hunter with the powers of this demonic artifact from basically the greatest demon of all time, Sukuna. And that's it. Mm-hmm. That's the bare bones of what Jujutsu Kaisen is.
Bada bing, bada boom. It's a very straightforward shonen story, right? We have a lead character, the power of a demon, is going to have to find out his purpose, his value, what he needs to do in the world through that experience, and we see his coming of age. I mean, it is shonen incarnate. I don't know what else to call it, It is exactly what you expect with shonen. Now, David, is there I mean, we know it's Mappa. I don't know if there's anything else. Like, Weekly Shonen Jump manga has 180 chapters or something right now, 100 something chapters.
I think so. Is that right, Kenny?
We just started a pretty weird arc too. So.
100, quite a few chapters. The first season adapted 50 or 60 chapters, maybe 50 chapters, something like that. Maybe closer to 70 chapters. I don't know. It adapted in that area of chaptering, so a pretty good chunk of the manga. But there's probably already enough content to do a second season. But I don't know.
146 chapters.
146 chapters, and they adapted. Anyone know off the top of their head how much was adapted in the first season? I thought it was like
lot.
60.
It's like 60, 70 chapters.
Yeah, 60. That's what I was thinking, but
There's enough for a second season. There's not enough for a third season.
no way. There's like not even enough content to do a third season yet. So they're right on the heels. I'm sure Mappa will wait a year, so have another 40 or so chapters get made, and then we'll probably get a second season, and then most likely they'll do the same, wait another year and wait for another 40, 50 chapters. So they'll keep a good distance of, I assume they'll keep a distance about 100 chapters from whatever's current until the series comes to a conclusion. That seems to be about what these seasonal animes are doing, give or take, which makes sense, and I think it's a good methodology. But the show is gorgeous. I mean, Mappa has outdone themselves, and if you haven't watched a series by Mappa, you need to go and check out their catalog. They have an outstanding catalog of anime series, but Jujutsu Kaisen is truly the way that I wish all shonen anime would look. Like, if all Shonen Jump anime looked as good as Jujutsu Kaisen, I'd be twisted.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Imagine if One Piece looked like that.
Oh.
And you even remember, like, in Demon Slayer, it feels like in the early episodes they cut corners. There was some 3D animation that they used for battle scenes, but then UFO
Table showed the hell up. That's what
they spent their money in the second half of the season. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
But Jujutsu Kaisen is not like that to me. Yeah. It was consistent. Beginning to end, it is a beautifully gorgeous show, beautifully well animated, beautifully well directed and choreographed. Everything about it is really fun to look at. But I think what really makes Jujutsu Kaisen for me as a series, and I have to compare it a bit to Demon Slayer and a bit to Dr. Stone and Black Clover, but for me, unfortunately, I don't think Yuji is the reason why I have become so invested in Jujutsu Kaisen. Unlike maybe some of these other shows where the main character is the cornerstone, right? When you watch One Piece, Luffy's journey is sort of it's why you're watching. Luffy is a likable, very important main character, and him being on screen is pretty much it's pushing this experience forward. Yuji, on the other hand, is a bit more of an exploration. He's a bit more conceptual. He's a bit more focused on there are things that are bigger than himself that are impacting this world, that are impacting this place, and his the way he chooses to experiment with those things, whether it be Sukuna, whether it be the demons that they're fighting, whether it be his I can't even remember the blob guy's name, whether it be the relationship he builds with that guy, whatever it might be, Yuji's experiences are building this bigger picture of a world that is very human. And I think that is what has drawn me into Jujutsu Kaisen, is that curses in the show are they're human fallibilities. They are, is that the word? They're human failure. They are things that we can't do, things that we can't control, things that make us fallible. And I think that is what makes this such a unique series, because not often does Shonen Jump shoot for theming that is a little bit on that darker scale, on that scale of like human error, and can humans be fallible, and can, we often want to see like this very hopeful, always can do, power of friendship thing. And Yuji's first big battle in this season, he kind of fucking loses, in my opinion. He doesn't like lose, but the first, the end of the first half of the season, the guy he's trying to save just fucking dies.
Yeah.
I mean, and sorry, spoilers. I mean, you should be prepared for this because we're getting into the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. But that's fucking that death, Yuji holds it with him. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you have to like, whoa, like Shonen Jump doesn't usually fucking kill people that have like emotional revenants in the first 30 chapters of their manga. That's just not usually a common thing to do. Right. But it definitely gives you the theming of humans are fallible, humans have things that they have to work on, and then it's like curses are the metaphysical, they're physical existences of human fallibility. It's very cool. That's why I really like it. It's more about this, because then on top of that, throw all that shit into a tournament arc, and that's the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck,
Always
bro.
love a
I
good
was like-
tournament arc.
And you know, they fight the curse that's sort of like the damnation of like humans hurting nature, which is like, what the fuck? I was like, that thing's like literally like nature incarnate.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck humans because they fucking destroy nature. And I was like, oh, dude, but legit, dude, humans
It's like,
suck.
fuck humans. Damn.
Yeah, I was like, you're kind of right.
There's one human that's fucking unbelievably powerful, and it's almost like
Oh,
it's
and then
almost
yeah,
like
Gojo.
Gojo sort of is like, you know, where curses are evil and they kill humans. Like Gojo is sort of like he terrifies them. You know, he's like this sort of
Oh my god.
don't do shit because they're scared of Gojo.
Gojo is the best overpowered character I've ever met in anime. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know of a character that's been more like appropriately written than Gojo. So Satoru Gojo is such an amazing just piece of character that is just awesome to watch. And oh my god, he's so slick, he's so sly, he's a bop. He boop. Okay, boys, I've run my mouth. What do you guys think? What draws you to JJK? Where are we at? I don't know.
So something else to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, Jerry, especially with theming. So the whole purpose of Itadori's journey is right now is because, like we've talked about before in that first episode, his grandpa dies, and he's kind of wanting. His grandpa tells him to die with a bunch of friends surrounding him. So Itadori is on this journey of, you know, trying to create as many, you know, relationships, or just trying to have a group of people that he can die around and basically not die alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, you know, segues into like the introduction of all these cool characters with the tournament arc. We got to see their is it the Kyoto branch, because our main group is in Tokyo. Yeah. So we got to see the Kyoto Jujutsu Tech School and all those cool characters, and probably my second or third favorite character, Todo.
We stand Todo around here. He likes tall women with a big ass. Women with a big ass.
Why do they hate
Jennifer
Todo?
Lawrence?
Bro, why do they throw that ball at Toto's face, man?
Listen, Todo doesn't deserve
that.
He is a real man. He is the best, and his love for that idol girl is so beautiful. His fake history with Itadori is genius.
It's just like for me, it's like
perfect,
like the characters in the show don't really scream like stereotypical like shonen to me. Like they seem pretty unique for the most part.
They're sharp. They're very sharp.
And it's like as I'm seeing more characters introduced, I want to get to know them, because it seems like they're not just following, you know, we got our Sundeer, we got our Lancer, we have all these like really, you know, high level typical anime tropes. But for the most part, all these people seem pretty unique and pretty I don't know, it's just unique overall is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. You go into it thinking like it opens and you're like, oh, Fushiguro is Sasuke and Kugisaki is Sakura and Itadori's Naruto and Gojo's Kakashi. Ha ha ha. But then like you immediately realize that despite them falling into maybe some of those like archetypes in design and in like placement, which is like, okay, there's like 3-man squad. They have a leader. It's been done before as well. It's kind of similar to the layout that Hunter x Hunter has. It's kind of similar to some of the layouts like Yu Yu Hakusho had. Kind of has the same feel as like Demon Slayer with Zenitsu, Nezuko, Tanjiro, and what's it called? I mean, it's just a common thing. There's kind of this group of heroes that kind of fall into these little spots, and you think like, oh, Fushiguro is like Itadori's rival, but they're actually not rivals at all. And that like has pretty much not come up at like Fushiguro and Itadori don't look at each other as rivals. They're literally just buddies.
Yeah.
And
I'm about to say
like
friendship.
He's like the big brother.
Really lost between like Kugisaki.
I wasn't ready for that. Oh, Yuji and Kugisaki are awesome together. And
yeah, they're like friends. They're like just friends.
And because that like Gojo is also this like, okay, he's this all powerful mentor, but he's not just that. This man is all powerful. He's One Punch Man, motherfucker.
He's
like
the strongest person.
Like he is like curses make fucking barriers specifically to like keep him out. Because that man just eats. Like, I don't know. And then when the fucking president of the other school took his shirt off, started playing the fucking guitar.
Yeah, I was
not ready for that. I was like, very not standard, and there was a lot of that. You know, the villains aren't stupid, which also kind of blew my mind. They're acting incredibly villain-like, and that is like scary as fuck. I mean,
running away,
like always adapting and learning.
I'm not ready for the fact that they have already like they've stolen artifacts from the fucking the thing. Like they're thoughtful, they're coordinated, and most of the time villains in shonen can be very like, you know, I'm Dio Brando. I'm gonna drop a fucking steamroller on you. You know, but then like the hero always just kind of gets the upper hand for no reason. And I don't at all feel this way, because not only are there curses that are trying to get in, but Sukuna's already in, and he fucking hates everyone.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, oh no. So like the moment something might go well, Sukuna can just kind of power out and be like, actually, fuck you guys. And that kind of adds a layer of tension that other shonen series don't always have in place. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed that because it just takes battle shonen to a new level. This just doesn't, I don't know. It's like there's so many great battle shonens out there that I feel continue to just like, there are some great ones. Then there are ones that just like hold the line, right? They're just like battle shonens that are to be battle shonens. They fight, they win. They fight, they win. But then there's this one where it just feels like, I don't fucking know.
It just
Each
feels
arc,
like
I'm just like,
Yeah, it just feels like there's like a much deeper emotional level with Jujutsu. It's like it's just like there's more intention, I feel, with the conversations that are had or like the characters that are introduced. It just seems much more meaningful. Yeah. Which makes me like it even more, I guess.
Yeah.
So
one critique that I've heard, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts, is that Yuji is the flattest character in the whole season. That the other characters, Panda, Maki, Fushiguro, Gojo, Todo, all got pretty fleshed out arcs where, you know, from their introductions to the end of the season. I mean, obviously their arcs aren't complete because there's still more to go.
Right.
But like they all got some development, some backstory. But to this point, the main thing we know about Yuji is that he was essentially like just with his grandpa. His grandpa died. And then he decided to swap to JJK, Jujutsu Tech, whatever it's called. And now has Sukuna in him and has to kind of live up to that. But there's not been much more to flesh out his goals. All we really know from his goals is the experience. Junpei, that was the guy's name, is what happened with Junpei, right? We know that he is, like what his grandpa said, he wants to surround himself with people that he cares about. And that experience with Junpei hurt him deeply. Because he lost someone immediately. He made a friend and lost them. And Yuji said, you know, he's resolute in not letting that happen again, essentially. And I think that is Yuji's main thing in this season. I mean, we see that even come to play when he like is teamed up with Todo. He helps Fushiguro and Kugisaki get away. There's some moments there, but I don't know. Is Yuji too flat of a main character for such a thoughtful series? Or are people undervaluing his main characterness? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, the story is his story, if that makes sense. And I think that like because we are not with side characters as long, I think that the author really, you know, wanted to flesh them out as much as he could, you know, while the whole overarching story is about Yuji, you know. And I think that I could see that gripe, but I don't know. I like Yuji, and I like the
goodbye, Kenny. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I agree, Kenny. I agree.
Yeah, good one, Kenny. Yeah, I think that one really.
Yeah. I know it all came across. I didn't disconnect at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Yuji, and I like. Yeah. I think that his relationships with other people really have come through. His friendship with Kugisaki and his brotherhood with Todo and all of that, I think, has really, really come through.
I think I love his sense of humor, whether it was like when he was watching the movies or when him and Gojo decided to play the trick on him being dead and then being alive.
Killed
and no one reacted.
His conversations with Todo especially following the end of the tournament, where he's like, "Wait a second, I'm not your brother, dude." He's like, "What do you,
my
bro, what?"
brother?
And Toto's like, Yuji's like, "No, stop."
I love in the baseball scene whenever they have like the little undercard things, and Toto says, it's like he said he went to Koshin with Yuji. Yuji says otherwise, and it's
Yep, dude. I don't know. I think Yuji is the type of shonen main character that is like, he's on the same type of wavelength to me as a Goku or a Luffy, right?
Yeah.
We didn't get Luffy's legitimate backstory until like 500 chapters into One Piece.
Bro,
You know,
real.
up until that point, like Luffy was motivated by things in front of him and his experiences with the people he was having. And Yuji's kind of the same way. He's motivated by the things in front of him and the people that he's experiencing it with. And same thing with Goku, right? Goku is a much more, but I do worry that for a series that does seem to care a little bit more about about the theme of this story. I wonder how, and Kitty, you probably know because you've read ahead, but I just think that Yuji is going to need, it feels like this season was the buildup, and now Yuji's going to have a big arc right afterwards. So I don't know what the next arc is, but that's where I'm at. I'm like, oh, fuck. Yuji's going to have a big thing happen in season 2. And I'm not ready for it. I don't know what it's going to be because I have no spoilers for myself. But Kenny, maybe you can confirm or deny. But I just feel like it was a build-up to give us some. We need to care about all these characters, or else we won't give a fuck when Yuji has to save them or has to have that moment. We have to care. And as an audience, I care about Panda. I care about Maki. I care about Fushiguro. I care about Kugisaki. I care about Gojo. Those characters matter to me now because they've had experiences with Yuji that have made them who they are and made them characters that I feel connected to. But yeah, I love it when, I don't know. Kenny?
I agree with that. I agree that, like, because especially with there being so many characters that were introduced, it's you don't want to fall in the My Hero trope where you introduce all these characters and then you don't care about any of them. And I think they did a good job of introducing a good number of characters, but giving them each a little bit of time to shine, to like show, you know, why they're there, why they're relevant, and for us to, you know, just start caring about them. And with, even though Itadori is the main character, we really only see those moments where, like in the first episode with his grandpa, with the whole little mini arc with Junpei and how that affected him. And then, you know, once we get into the tournament arc, it's really just, you know, battles and fights from then on. So
well, it's battles, but it was battles that developed. Each battle gave us a flashback for the hero that was fighting in the battle.
Right. Yeah. So we got to see a little bit of backstory for like
and
Panda,
some backstory
for, Toto,
for the other. I mean, heck, Mekamaru and
for the
some of them
Kyoto
got some
people.
fleshing out as well.
Yeah.
Maki's sister.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
That whole little arc, the Maki and I can't remember her sister's name, but like. Anything. Maki's my favorite character, so anything with Maki, I was like, okay,
Maki.
I love Maki.
Maki-chan. That's mega waifu for me, David.
It would just suck
Maki.
if you know Yuji was, you know, if we would care about him and Yuji saving them, it would just suck if maybe he didn't. Bro.
Right, but that's it. The story has already let that happen, and I think that's what's crazy to me because I genuinely thought that Junpei was going to be a main character.
Yeah,
the series led me to believe this.
The opening had him with everyone else. I was like, oh, he's going to go to Jujutsu Tech.
Everything made me believe that this man was going to see, and then he just got blobbed and died, and I was like, oh, I
kept thinking he was going to come back.
I was like, this isn't supposed to happen in a shonen anime. I was like, this isn't what happens in shonen. So yeah, it was very shocking. So I don't know how to even take that.
So
it would just suck if anybody else died, man.
Oh, stop, Kenny. Now you're scaring me, dude.
But hopefully in the next season, like I do expect, because it's kind of like the thing I feel like with a majority of shonen, it's where they don't tip the entire hand of the main character's backstory until later on.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm assuming that's me watching this. I just kind of had that assumption with Itadori that we're not going to get his entire motivations or everything in the first 24 episodes. So hopefully that does get addressed in the next season. I haven't started reading where the anime left off in the manga. Right. So as of right now, I'm still anime only, but
me too.
I
don't know if I will be for long.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can neither confirm nor deny if maybe in the last 2 chapters we've gotten some more backstory on UG.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Neither,
that's exciting. But I think that this is just such a. I mean, it's hard to critique the animation, direction, and art design for the series because I just genuinely believe this is peak. Like, there's not a lot of seasonal. There's not a lot of TV animes that look this good, and it just looked good top to bottom. As you can tell, we're all pretty fans of the story, with only minor critique of where that brings us. Boys, is there other points for this show that we feel like need some conversation?
I did want to just sprinkle in a fun fact. So this person, Sung Hoo Park is the name of the. Oh, where's my wiki page? He's the director of this first season, and he was the for Jujutsu. I just had it. He storyboarded. He was the episode director for episode 7 and 24, which 7 was, I believe, the Gojo episode, and then 24, of course, was that fucking amazing
the final fight with Kugisaki
with the 2 brothers. And so he's done a lot of other work, like Space Dandy. He's done animation for Yuri on Ice, for like a lot of other shows that I know that the animation is like talked about.
Peak.
Right. So like in hindsight, I'm like, okay, it makes sense why that there's some good direction with the animation, with the art style. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
A little fun fact.
Beautiful job. We have to mention it has probably the best anime ending song of the last 10 years.
Maybe Paradise. So it's still TikTok memed. Like still, like people love it.
And I'll tell people now, like if you haven't, Mother's Basement on YouTube posted a video called "What's in an OP," and he does like a breakdown analysis of the first opening of Jujutsu Kaisen. And it is a very powerful opening that, with his breakdown, is even more great. Like, even more greatness is in there than you would think. I don't know. The only other character that we didn't really get to talk about was Nanami, who I think it's important to talk, and the villain a little bit. I think both those are kind of important to talk about. So I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? First off, Nanami. What's y'all's thoughts on him? Because I think he's going to come back. I think he has a lot more to give to this story. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I have to plead the fifth on this one.
Oh, shit. No. Yeah. David, what do you think about Nanami? Because I think that he's a character that's very interesting because he is like, he's just different. I can't really compare him to another anime character.
Yeah. Nanami is the 9-to-5 guy, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And he gets stronger when he goes into overtime.
Yeah. Also voiced by Overhaul.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I like that. So Nanami was introduced in that little arc where it was just this was like after Itadori's like fake death, and
Yuji and Fushiguro, they go and Yuji dies, but he didn't really die. Sukuna kind of kept him alive. They decided to keep that secret. Yuji ends up having to go on a mission by himself with Nanami while the others trained for the tournament invitational. But go on, David.
Yeah, so it's interesting because Nanami is basically like the juxtaposition of Gojo.
Right.
It's like Gojo is like eccentric, he's silly, he's like all over the place, and Nanami is just like originally he was a salaryman and he kind of got recruited essentially by Gojo. And so he's just like straight-laced, like he's there to do his job and like nothing more, and he's just, very surface level. And just I think I don't know. I liked him as a character. I thought it was interesting, especially since both Itadori and Gojo are like very like high strung, like all over the place. And to see that pairing with Nanami was a pretty cool, I think, dynamic.
Yeah, I think that what I loved about Nanami is that like I didn't think that Gojo needed a sort of like a foil as a character, but Nanami's introduction made me realize how important it's going to be to like the validity of Gojo's power, and it's going to keep that scaling alive. I think Nanami as a whole, who's also pretty ridiculously overpowered, is also kind of, he's just going to be able to like really he's going to be able to like keep the show and the series level. And I think that as sort of like a sub mentor to Yuji as a character, which, Gojo is supposed to be his mentor, then we immediately get Nanami as sort of like an also mentor in a different capacity. And I think that was really interesting because it's going to be able to it's going to make it to where I think that Yuji's perspectives grow more diverse, as opposed to him only taking in maybe what's at Jujutsu Technical School, but also kind of those other foils that are going to make him, I believe that this series is going to be a show that really is driven by Yuji as a character. I think eventually he's going to kind of drive the bus. He's going to make stuff happen. And we need that. And I think that it's only going to happen if we start to better understand Yuji's motivations. Nanami helps to create some of those motivations in Yuji because he establishes for Yuji because when the death happens, it happens on the battlefield with Nanami. And Nanami's the one that's there to help Yuji overcome that moment, not Gojo. And I think that's a really interesting thing to do as well. But yeah, I love Nanami. I think he was great. And I'm really excited to see where his character goes. Kenny, obviously you plead the fifth. Because I'm sure you know that he probably does some crazy shit, I bet.
Like the whole Itadori Nanami fight with Mahito, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Was like wild. And I think that's like something that we also don't really see is like the villain also having like progressing as a character, like in the middle of fights. Like we usually see that's like a trope from our protagonists, but in the middle of the fight, Mohita's like, I have to go a level further beyond, and then he gains his domain expansion. So it's like, that was like another thing, like in the show overall, like it's cool to see.
I love that.
Even like the villains get like last second power ups.
The author has let us spend a lot of time with the villains and still hasn't really told us what their motivation or like what their goal is. And I thought that was like a really interesting thing. Like clearly they're the antithesis. They want to make sure Sukuna doesn't get well, they kind of want Sukuna to be reborn, but like the processing that goes through, they're kind of like working against this in a different way, their way. They want curses to have some sort of mobility, but I think there's still like a goal that has not been revealed to us as an audience. But we've actually gotten to like hang out with them, which I thought was super cool. So we've seen them in much more casual settings that maybe some other anime. Beach. Yeah, just chilling a bit, which some other anime won't give us that time. Some other just stories in general won't give you that time. And it's because they want the villain to be this like they don't want it to be gray, right? They don't want the story to be gray. Most shonen want the story to be black and white. They want you to be rooting for your main character, your hero, and they want your villain to be bad, down bad. And a lot of times, even a series like One Piece that does such a great job with making bad villains be bad. One Piece still won't give us like, we never got to just like hang out with Doflamingo very often, those villains still didn't get those humanizing moments, while Jujutsu Kaisen, its villains have had that, and they're not even fucking humans. They're curses, know? I think that's really cool. I love that because I still don't fucking know exactly what they want to do at the end of the day. Like,
I assume they want to like just take all of his fingers and like get strong and like kill people. That's like
that's what
it made it look like.
Humans bad, we curse. But because the motivation that there's a little bit of, especially when they near the end and they decide to kind of pull the whole thing to steal some items from the little vault or whatever. There's a lot of like, okay, I think there's something like an underbelly. I just really hope, this is just my personal hope, I hope that they don't pull the trope of like there was an ultimate evil all along. Like that would be kind of a spin for me that I would be against.
Like a Diavolo.
Maybe, but maybe if they introduce it in a different way, like maybe where our current group of villains is confronted by this other villain group, maybe there could be some sort of conflict there, because then we might actually root for this sort of like, what other show did this, Kenny?
What?
And Hunter x Hunter is another show with the spiders, has given us that, and even the Chimera ants to an extent, has given us that sort of floatiness of the grayness of some of the villains, like Hisoka. And I just really like that. I like that in a story. I like that progression. And I got to give Jujutsu Kaisen props for doing it in a way that I really liked in the first season.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, in Hunter x Hunter, it's like, I think from the word go, there are no villains in the show. There are just people with competing ideas and,
Right.
you know, different goals to accomplish. Yeah, I mean, some people kill more people, but like, you know, Kilo is a professional assassin. He's supposed to be one of our heroes. You know?
Heroes, yeah.
Right.
He murders, but he's good murder.
Yeah. So like, yeah. From the beginning, I think it establishes that killing people for Hunter x Hunter, at least, is not, you know, it's not irredeemable.
Right.
And I think that, you know, by the time we get to the Chimera Ants, obviously it shows like maybe all of us are kind of shitty, and you know.
I think that JJK is playing in the same like zone as Hunter x Hunter in that sort of like deeper thematic thing. And I think that JJK will reach its Chimera Ant arc at some point. If Akutami's able to keep this up, I think it could really come to some sort of really cool climax circumstance that it kind of has like a very deep, ethereal morality conversation that like Chimera Ant caused. If you know Chimera Ant from Hunter x Hunter, you know that it's a big moral bubble of craziness, because there's lots of conversation of like, what is bad, what is good, what is evil, you know, is bad, can bad be good, you know? And I think that Jujutsu Kaisen is building up to something like that as well. It's definitely got that presence in the beginning. So I don't know. For me, this is the type of show that checks all the boxes, you know? I like the theme, I like the setting, I like the characters, I like the dialogue, I like the battles. It's gorgeous. I think everything's been really well plotted out, and it feels really cohesive. And for me, that makes a anime that I'm gonna really enjoy, and it just checks more boxes for me than any other currently running shonen. So yeah, I don't know, boys. What do you guys think about that? The scaling of it versus other shows. Like, I don't know. Kenny, Kenny, do you have a favorite shonen right now that's running?
Oh, running in Shonen Jump?
Yeah.
I mean, I love reading My Hero. I love reading One Piece. I actually don't think my favorite shonen running right now is in Shonen Jump. I think my favorite shonen right now is sports manga called
Blue Lock?
Blue Lock?
I love Blue Lock. I read Blue Lock
by Muneyuki Kaneshiro. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I love Blue Lock. I read it every week, like hours after it comes out.
Which episode? One of our podcast episodes has like a 30-minute Kenny rants about Muneyuki Kaneshiro rant somewhere. If you guys can go find it, go find the episode. I don't remember which. One of our podcast episodes has Kenny ranting about this guy for like 20, 30 minutes.
Like 6 or 7, but
yeah.
I'm not one of my favorite mangas of all time, As the Gods Will, or I think As the Gods Will. It's one of my favorite mangas of all time. Muneyuki Kaneshiro, bro.
That's dope.
But Blue Lock is so good, bro.
Blue Lock. I don't know. So that's interesting, Kenny. But you said you still love My Hero, you love One Piece, but I don't know. I think that JJK just excites me a lot. It's just just everything that I want when I come to a shonen. And
right now, I've been putting 7 Dragon's Balls as my last. Like, I like to save the best for last.
Right.
That's one for 9 Dragon's Ball Parade. 9 Dragon's Ball Parade. That's a weird fucking name.
It's a weird name.
Yeah.
That's a big.
I don't know, David. What do you think?
I honestly didn't really hear your question, and I was confused for a second. But I think just overall, well, I didn't hear it. But like overall, like for Jujutsu, I think my biggest thing, like I was saying, is that there seems to be a lot of intentionality with the characters, and like the story is important, of course, but like I love that there's time given and purpose given to all the characters, that they're not just fucking just random background pieces. And so I'm very, very curious. I'm excited for the next part. Like I said, I want to continue reading. If I want to continue reading the manga after seeing an anime, then that's always a good thing, because like I have to know more. I have to, continue seeing what's available. So yeah. Again, I don't know what your question was, because
I asked what your like where this stacks up against other shonen anime and manga.
I think well, anime alone, I think this is like hopefully setting a brand new standard of what to expect in it. Not just shonen anime, but just anime overall. Because there's like romance, there's other genre of anime that there's moments that there's like possibilities for like where the animation can ramp up and then it just pulls you in. Mm-hmm. So I kind of hope that I hope that with this first season completed and out that other animation studios kind of look at this as kind of like a what to expect out of future anime. Because if I watch a brand new show that debuts in the summer and it looks like X-Arm, then it's like I'm not even going to give it a second chance. And X-Arm is the extreme, but yeah, I think anime alone, this is like
X-Arm's the worst. Berserk 2016 is like the second worst, and there's like everything else is above.
Yeah, like in terms of like anime, like not including movies, but anime alone, this is probably like the best animated anime I've seen. And since the beginning of this podcast, I've watched like 50, 60 seasons of anime. So at this point,
Productions, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is really good animation too. That's up there. But like with the last two episodes or the last episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, the whole fucking tournament arc with like the Maki fights, the Todo and Itadori and the plant demon fight. Why is my camera fucking up?
I don't know. Let's let it be.
But anyway, yeah, like
you're gonna be Mr. Blur today.
Yeah. But across the board, like all of the opportunities where the animation can ramp up, it did, and it did it well. And so hopefully, my biggest hope is that this is taken as a case study and like what to expect from future anime going forward. So.
That's crazy that you say that because I was thinking that I hope that this becomes the tool book, right? Like
exactly.
This takes Jujutsu Kaisen takes a lot of shit from old shonen. It really does. I mean, a demon inside of the kid, the fucking 3-man squad. It's got Naruto written all over it, honestly.
Yeah.
And because of that means it's got Hunter x Hunter all over it because Naruto had Hunter x Hunter all over it. Yeah. And honestly, you know what inspired Hunter x Hunter? Fucking Dragon Ball. It's like Dragon Ball took inspiration from this, that, and the other. It's like this is like a long time coming, right? This is a series that has taken archetypes, has taken shonen staples, and given them a bit of a fresh newness to it, where like when you're a guy like me who has watched 30, 40, 50, 60 different shonen series over the last 20 years, getting a battle shonen that doesn't feel stale at this point is tough. And we're living in sort of a renaissance where I feel like Demon Slayer has some staleness to it, but it also innovated in great ways with the animation and in the way that they displayed the story. I liked that. And JJK is doing the same thing. It's taking some of the staleness away from me. My Hero kind of flipped the script of Naruto, where like Naruto was kind of the boy by himself. Deku was the guy of many friends, and that is like he's the social lover, the being of people. The opposite of like loneliness is the winner. Like no, friends are the winner. Yeah. And that I liked that. It's that shift, and it's that sort of reimagining of a goal or a thing from before it. And that's what's going to continue. What's up, Kenny?
You know who also is like that?
Who?
Natsu, bro. From Fairy Tail.
Oh, Jerry, you forgot Fairy Tail. Yeah, because friendship is the power of
Fairy Tail.
Power of friendship prevails.
You can do that. Power of friendship can work, and it can be done well. I think that Mr. Mashima did his best work when he created Groove Adventure Rave. That's all I'll say. Groove Adventure Rave is where Hiro Mashima peaked. And then he was like, how do I just make as much money as possible? I've got it. Big boobs, magic, power of friendship. He sprinkled that shit in for 10 plus years, and people ate it like candy, baby. They said,
hey,
I'm not.
Let me tell you, Zera, the Black Mage?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually Natsu's brother.
Who would have guessed?
Spoilers?
No.
Spoilers?
Spoilers for Fairy Tail randomly sprinkled into this JJK review.
Bro, you didn't know, okay?
I did not know, actually. But, that's the thing is, like, people tell me, like, like Fire Force. Fire Force is fine. It's a fine shonen, but oftentimes it's going to feel stale if you've seen a couple other shonen anime, because it's just not doing anything that's special, unique. It might have a cool concept, might have some really fun battles, maybe even a couple really cool characters mixed in there. But what JJK is able to do is it's able to just remind us that like this genre can still feel new. It can still feel cool. It can still feel fresh, even when you're 27 years old and you've watched 20, 30, 40, 50 shonen animes. You can still be impressed. You can still have fun, and you can still enjoy it. So that's what JJK has done for me. It's definitely renewed it's reminded me like, oh, this genre is cool. I mean, Dr. Stone also was really a change of pace for me that I really love. And we haven't really done like a full Dr. Stone review on the podcast before, but I'm a big Dr. Stone fan.
You should.
I think that it's a really awesome shift on the shonen paradigm, because it's really not a shonen battle manga, but it's not really like a shonen anything manga. It's like a shonen manga, but it's like totally different. And that's what makes it Dr. Stone and why it's been so successful, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a shonen Bill Nye the Science Guy manga.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of reminds me of man. I don't know. I was trying to think, is like they're a good like educational comparison to
maybe like Magic School Bus, the anime.
I guess
Magic School Bus the manga. That's
anime. Yeah. And that's what makes it great. But yeah, I'm stoked for JJK. I'm stoked for its future. I love the first season. Let's give it a ranking, boys. What do you guys think? I think this is an easy
8.
I gave it a 9. David went full 10.
I gave it 10.
I'll give season 1 of JJK a 9 out of 10. I think it's damn near perfect, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
It's damn near exactly what I would love to watch. So 9 out of 10 for me. Kenny, 8?
8. I just, I know what there is to come, bro.
Kenny knows season 2 is going to be a 10 out of 10.
I have to leave room for it to be better. Okay?
Oh,
you sick bastard. And David went 10 because, I mean, David, you're... Yeah.
Like, this show had me rewind so many times because I would see something and I would be like, holy shit, that was amazing. And I would go back and rewatch it. Like, that doesn't really ever happen. And so for that to happen, and not just like during episode 7 with Gojo or the last episode with like the tag team fight.
Yeah.
There were like multiple parts throughout the last like 10-ish, 9-ish episodes where there's like fights galore. Like it wasn't, they didn't just put all their, eggs into just 2 episodes. Kind of like with Demon Slayer, how everyone go, like episode 19. But there were like multiple moments where the animation was just amazing. So yeah, I mean, and like we've talked about before, like it wasn't just animation, just like the characters and the theming and the pacing, everything else was just great. So like, fuck it, your boy giving it a 10.
Dicks out for Harambe.
Dicks out for yep.
Dicks out for my boy Harambe. Okay, well, great, boys. I'm happy we finally got to talk about it in detail, and I'm excited because I think I'm going to read the manga from the beginning. I think I'm going to reread it and give it another go all the way through, and then catch up. I think that's my plan. So I'm excited to see if that is a different experience for me. Because I don't know, I'm stoked. So it's just giving me a lot of new passion for it. It's making me want to read more Shonen Jump, right? Like, and we've talked a bit about this, but like Spy Family and Kaiju number 8 are doing the same thing for me. Like, those are both series that I'm really stoked about because neither of them feature preteen protagonists.
Yeah.
Like, for the first time ever, it's like two shonen mangas that feature like full-grown adults as the leads. And that makes it like so much more story opens up there. And I wonder if I've always wondered if maybe Shonen Jump, which was supposed to be intended for, 12 to like 18-year-olds, I do wonder if they've realized that they have an audience of 18 to 30-year-olds that are still reading. And I wonder if they've realized that maybe they need to start marketing more series towards that audience, because both our characters in Spy Family, Kaiju number 8, are both in that age range instead. So
Right.
I've wondered if maybe we're seeing a little bit of a little shift for what that genre is going to look like moving forward. So I don't know.
Something else with so I've read the first volume of Jujutsu Kaisen because I bought it a bit ago. And something that, and I don't know if it's like this with future chapters, but the anime takes the panels that the manga provides and it builds upon them, and you catch that instantly from within the first volume in the first episode comparison, because there's a lot more like time and purpose given to like the whole grandfather and Itadori's grandfather and him. Like that scene in the anime isn't as focused in the manga. There's a lot of like, I don't know, like small gag stuff that they've added in the anime in those first few scenes that aren't in the manga. So it's cool that Mappa didn't just do, straight adaptation, but they took it and then built upon it. So.
And that's a sign of like someone really knocking out like I don't know, adaptations can either struggle and that can make a series worse, or like you said, it can really improve. And that's awesome that it kind of did that. So
yeah. All
right, boys, we did it. We talked Househusband. We talked JJK. Oh my gosh. I'm just excited for anime right now. I don't know why. Yeah. Anime just is getting me. It's like, I have to say, I'm almost done with my Shaman King read. So for those of you listening, like 6 months ago at this point, I decided I was going to make an attempt at reading all of Shaman King, which is about 300 chapters. And I've taken it hella slow. Like I practically read like maybe a volume a week. So like maybe I read like 10 chapters a week. Sometimes I'll read like a volume every 2 weeks. So because of that, I'm only on like chapter 250 as of this recording. So I've got about 50 chapters left before I finally finish it up. And I was doing this mainly to prepare for the new anime, which is airing this during this season. But it's in where's it at, Kenny?
Where's what at? Amazon Prime?
You're talking about Netflix, you're talking about Netflix jail, right?
I'm talking about the place where you're always pouring stuff out, Ken.
Rest in peace, Netflix jail.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I was gonna say Shaman King's in Netflix jail. And so because of that, I think 2 or 3 episodes are already out in Japan, so they've covered about 15 chapters. But I'm definitely going to wrap it up before the show ever catches up to where I'm at. So, but I'm really excited because rereading that series has also reminded me like what Shonen was and how it's elevated to where it is now, So that's been really cool. But I don't know, boys, are you guys excited about reading any other, like, are you guys planning to barrage through any manga soon?
So,
well, I've just read all of Tokyo Revengers.
Kenny watched the first episode last week, then his ass watched. He read the whole damn.
I knew he'd love it.
Bro. That's my life, bro. I don't know what to say.
I've been binge reading How Heavy Are the Weights You Lift. I'm on volume.
After you binge the anime.
Yeah, I binged the anime of How Heavy Are the Weights You Lift, which, if those of you who don't know, it's literally an anime that teaches you how to go to the gym. And so,
not like you need that.
Well, I mean, you can never learn too much.
No, David, you're too sexy, baby. You got it all. You said.
All right. Well, okay. Anyway, we're cutting that, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Kenny approves.
Oh.
Yeah, I approve.
But yeah, I've binged through that. I took a break from Black Lagoon. I'm like on volume 9 of Black Lagoon. I love it so much.
Yeah.
But I had to take a break.
I always wanted to rewatch that show because we watched it. I think I watched it almost 10 years ago now, or something like that. So it's been so long, and I'm like, I remember bits and pieces, but I probably should rewatch it, or maybe I'll read it.
You might be surprised to know that it's still ongoing too.
The manga's still going, right?
Yeah, it's like a new chapter every like 2 months.
It might be worth it to just read it instead of watch it again. I think I'd have more fun reading it, just seeing it in a different medium,
Yeah, honestly, I like the English. That's probably one of the only anime that I'll watch English dub only for.
Oh yeah.
Because the English dub is actually not that bad.
Dave was like, yeah, English dub.
I was like, yeah.
Love Revy. Okay, cool. Well, that's good, guys. Kenny, are you gonna binge something else next? Do you have something on your binge bucket list? Yeah.
I need to. I don't know, bro. I'm reading some bullshit. I just always be clicking on new shit that I don't,
I have to own up to the podcast about something.
No.
Oh?
No, I've started reading Black Clover.
Oh.
And I haven't been able to talk about it yet on the podcast. And I have gotten some shit from commenters because not because I never said I didn't like Black Clover, that I thought it was bad. Okay? Go re-listen to those podcasts. I never said that I don't like it. I said that I feel like Black Clover has oftentimes been overshadowed by some of its other contemporaries in Shonen Jump. in that ever since it came out, it's always had another series that runs in the magazine that has overshadowed it. Whether that be My Hero, whether that be Demon Slayer, whether that be Jujutsu Kaisen, Dr. Stone, even to an extent. There's always Promised Neverland. There was always something else running next to it that was kind of taking the spotlight as sort of the big show.
That was better,
time.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, arguably. I think arguably, but I never once, and I always, since the day I watched Black Clover back when it first started, and I watched about 11 episodes, and then I dropped it at the time, and not because I didn't like it, I just dropped it because I had other stuff going on, I didn't end up picking it back up, and I was like, dang, I'm going to pick that show back up one day, because I always thought it was fun, I thought it was really cool, and so I've gotten back into the series, but I decided I'm not going to go for the anime, it's a little too long, I'm just going to read the manga. So I read about 50 chapters of the manga, and I'll say it here on the podcast. Someone clip this. I like Black Clover. I like it. I really do. And I have had a blast reading the first 50 chapters of the manga. It is not Jujutsu Kaisen, is all I'll say. It is not trying to transform the shonen genre. And it's also not as poorly scripted, in my opinion, as shows like Fairy Tail or Fire Force that maybe struggle a bit with character development. I think that Black Clover is kind of the perfect mix. It is a party shonen, and by that I mean you've got a fun group of characters beating the shit out of each other, and they're doing stuff that is morally always positive. It's awesome, and I will say I like it a lot. And I got to give props to it, because I do think, and you guys, I don't know what your thoughts are, boys, Black Clover is kind of finally having its moment in the spotlight. Do you guys think so? Like,
I just feel like you're too little, too late on this, man.
Jerry, I think you're backpedaling. I think you're backpedaling, Jerry.
You guys are being
no. I'm just kidding. But I think we've all said it. Like, Black Clover isn't bad. It's just cookie cutter. It's just like, the same thing.
I want to watch Asta whack people with swords, and that's why I read it. I don't know what are you talking about.
Yeah,
I would say that I think it's one of the best that's out right now.
Yeah, easily.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
it's one of the best watching dudes whack each other animes that is out in mangas. It's super fast paced. It's incredibly comfortable to read. The characters are still fun and comfortable, but the main goal of the character is super cool. And some of the archetypes that the characters exist in, again, I've only read 50 chapters. David, you guys are a little ahead of me, I think.
I've watched like the first 45 episodes.
So we're probably pretty close to the same part. Kenny's caught up, but I don't know. I think that it made too little, too late. But I do want to just clarify that I think that Black Clover is having its moment. I think it is. I think finally people are recognizing, like, oh damn, this show's been going. Whether it was in 5th or 6th place every week in Jump, it was never bad enough to get canceled, and it was never good enough to be like number one. But it's finally like its consistency has paid off, and people are finally noticing it, and they're going, "Oh wow!"
If
Black
Clover was a video game, it would be Dynasty Warriors. You just play it because you want to beat some shit up. You just want to pick. You got all these characters to choose from. I want to play this one today. I'm gonna beat some shit up with this character. Like that's all. You don't play it for the story. Like, you don't play it for, and you just play it because you want to beat some shit up, So,
and that's cool.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing either. Yeah.
Yes. I will say it's kind of filling the same void for me, because like I liked watching Seven Deadly Sins. I genuinely did. Is Seven Deadly Sins a particularly great story? It would be tough to argue that.
It was in the beginning, and then it just kind of shat itself.
It would be tough to argue that Seven Deadly Sins is like elevating the genre. But
right.
I like Seven Deadly Sins. I love watching it. The parts before the animation turned to trash. But Black Clover's filling the same void for me of like, man, something just fun to read. It's like I've read 50 chapters of that, and I can't even read the last 50 chapters of Shaman King. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. But okay, boys, let's wrap this puppy up.
All right.
Kenny, you haven't done one in a long time. Do you want to unravel a shonen anime? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
That look on his face is like...
Kenny's not in the mood.
That look on his face!
Kenny looks like he needs a nap, dude.
Well, I just don't know.
Fine, we won't unravel anything tonight, but we'll plan for one.
Eventually. I mean, I could do Fairy Tail, but...
Do we even have to?
No, let's just you don't have to.
I think Fairy Tail unraveled itself. Whatever, dude.
Have we already done Fairy Tail?
No.
Oh, we haven't.
No.
Oh, wow.
Fairy Tail's a pretty ridiculous one, but also, even though it unravels ridiculously, it never like from the beginning, it sort of never made sense.
Yeah.
Like so, like you know.
Kenny's doing it. He's doing it. It's unraveling.
No, it's no. We'll save it. It's such a good one to unravel.
Okay. Well, then on that note, boys, I think that we've had a good time tonight. Talked about a couple shows. Yeah, I think the only thing that's left to say is like, comment, subscribe, follow along. If you guys like our conversations about anime, if you like some of our viewpoints, feel free to comment. Tell us about it. We want to hear your viewpoints as well. We obviously are not the end all be all. We are not like the great, we're just three guys who like anime.
Yeah.
So like, we want to hear what you guys think.
But
what are you, Kenny?
I'm the end all be all whenever it comes.
Oh, Kenny's the end all be all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get in the comments. Back me up, boys.
But for serious, like we just are
okay?
three guys who love anime and we love talking about it. We love talking about why we like it. We might have a fun thing coming up. We're gonna maybe look at some logistics, but additionally, you might be seeing maybe the three of us in person soon. Not virtually over Skype. Maybe we'll have some new stuff. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for supporting us. Make sure you guys continue to do so. If you like what we're talking about, that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about anime. So if you like the Uncensored Anime Podcast, go follow us on all of our stuff. We greatly appreciate the support. We want to elevate the game. We want to keep doing more anime podcasts, and we want to keep trying new stuff. I mean, one of the things that we've really had fun doing is our 13 new animes each season. That's kind of become our thing for us, and we've got some following. Our State of Shonen Jump was really cool. Doing some different guests has been really cool, and I think we want to keep trying to find more guests that are going to change what we talk about here. Yes, we love to review anime, and that's still we're never going to get all the way away from that. So we'll promise you as viewers, we will always stick to that. There's going to be more anime reviews from us in the future, but we want to keep doing more stuff that'll be fun and fun to listen to for 2 hours. Because I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll get bored of just hearing us review anime for 2 hours every week. I don't know, but we'll be back weekly as much as we can. I know we took a little hiatus kind of over the winter time, but it was holidays. So we're pretty much back in the full swing of things. So great to see you guys. That's pretty much all I got. That's all that we have. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast, and we're saying peace.